he invited me to do this talk a bit last minute, but I did manage to do some slides, and hopefully you guys can learn something lah. It will be a very casual talk only because we're at home now and it's already 9 p.m. So I'll briefly explain to you what products Standard Chartered is currently offering and how it could help you to maybe assist your clients to get a housing loan. So without further ado, I will be starting our slides. Lisa, can you tell me if you can see the slides properly?
Yes, can see.
Okay. All right. So a little bit about myself. I'm Joel from Standard Chartered Bank. I'm in this industry for about 7 years already. Previously, I've worked with other banks as well, mostly local banks, Alliance Bank, Maybank, OCBC, and Hong Leong. So this is my first foreign bank. Over the years, I do notice there are some very few differences between the bank products. So today I'll be sharing what is the main advantage of Standard Chartered Bank, how we can help you save the most interest, and how we can get better approvals to help your clients. Okay, it'll be very casual, brief. If you got any questions, please interrupt me, or you can just type in the chat there. After this also, there'll be a Q&A session, so we can talk more after that. Okay, so I go to the next slide. Okay, so we are the mortgage specialists. Okay, Standard Chartered Bank, although you do not see very often in the market, sometimes you go to developer launchings, you don't see Standard Chartered Bank. You will see local banks like Maybank, Public Bank. But actually, we are one of the first banks in Malaysia. You can Google this. We started in 1875. I think this year is about 140 years already. So we're a very, very old bank and one of the first banks lah. Okay, number two is I'll be talking about our criteria for approval. Okay, so what are the banks looking for? How can you guide your customers to maybe improve their chances of approval? And also we have special policies to help you approve. Okay, maybe not using normal income documents. There are certain high net worth policies we have can assist your customers to get approval as well. And thirdly, I'll be talking a bit about moratorium. So, because right now we're under a pandemic, government has announced that they'll be giving a national relief program. So moratorium is this relief program that it will help you to defer your loan payments. Okay, so how does it work and is it worth to take it or not? We will discuss more later on. Okay, then after that will be the Q&A session. So you can ask if you got any more details you want me to explain about, feel free to ask during that. Okay, so next slide. So this is our housing loan package in Standard Chartered Bank. We call it the Mortgage One account. So it is the first full flexi in Malaysia, and we call it a true full flexi. Okay, so what do we mean by this is it only has one single account. There are some banks out there, maybe you've heard before, they also have full flexi, right? But when you ask them for more details, they'll say, okay, we have a savings account and we also have a loan account. It's like two accounts open for you. But in Standard Chartered Bank, you will only see one account. We have consolidated the loan into a current account. So you can use this as your own account. My advice is you do not think of it as your loan account. You think of it, you use it as your main account. So your salary, put it into this account. You can make payments from this account just like any other account. This will help you save the most interest. I will explain a bit more shortly. And the savings is calculated daily rest. Okay, so it's daily rest. So this will help you in saving the most interest because long time ago, banks offer what we call term loan or fixed term loan where it is monthly rest, which means they will only do the calculation end of the month. If you have put money in account and in the middle of the month, let's say 15th of the month, they are not counting it as saving interest. Only at the end of the month, they count as interest savings. So you will lose out a half of month interest there. But with Standard Chartered Bank, we're doing daily rest. So the interest savings is done daily. And of course, we are proud of our transparency. Okay, there are many banks out there offering very similar things, but what Standard Chartered is good at is we are transparent. We will show you monthly statements every single month, and you will see exactly how much interest you're paying, how much principal you're paying. You will know when is your due date. So all these are very black and white in Standard Chartered Bank. It's a big advantage, and you should use it to try to save as much interest as possible. Okay, so what sets our bank apart? Okay, so of course, most people look at interest rates, right? We are having very low interest rates as well. We're very competitive in the market. Sometimes we are not the lowest interest rate in the market, but we don't fall far behind. Maybe 0.05% difference. And because ours is fully flexi, it is very worth it to still take a look at our package. Okay. Later on, I will also share about our different policies that can even get you lower than normal interest rates, usually for high net worth customers, our priority customers. Okay. Other than that, we are also easy to use. So I written here, anything you want, we have it. What does this mean? What I mean is like any method you can think of how to use the account, we will offer it to you. For example, you have a debit card, you have online banking. Nowadays, everything's online. You can just do instant transfers. We can offer checkbook to customers as well, and you can also use your phone. So just like a normal savings account, right? You use the loan account like normal. And okay, anything else that besides the anything that we want, right? What we don't have is branches. Okay, I will admit we do not have as much branches as, let's say, Maybank. Maybank is everywhere. Okay, you can walk in the branch anywhere. Standard Chartered, we do not have this, but we have everything else because we do not need you to come to the branch anymore, especially during this period. We don't want you to come to the branch, don't want you to take the risk. So do all your transactions online. We can do everything for you online. Okay, it's time to move forward lah. Okay. Thirdly is it's easy to track your loan. Okay, so how many times if you guys have your own housing loan, sometimes you might wonder what is going on with my housing loan. Is it being paid on time? Do I have late payments? Okay, after 5 years, do you see your principal reducing? Is your loan finishing, or is all your payments going into interest only? Okay, so it's very important to keep track of your loan. Do not let the bank simply charge you interest without you knowing what's going on. Okay, so with Standard Chartered Bank, we have detailed monthly statements. Okay, so you will not have any hidden costs because every month you see exactly what we are charging you, right? Okay, so now we look about what are banks looking for? How can we help you get approval for your clients? Okay, so there are a few general ideas, or I call it qualifying criteria. Of course, capacity is standard. You need to know how much your customer is earning. Okay, DSR, or we call debt servicing ratio, is basically how much of their income, their monthly income, is being used to pay loans. Okay, you do not want all of your money to pay loans, then there's no more extra money for you to pay for food or transportation or this, right? So for our bank, you cannot be higher than 80%. This is a general rule. Okay, we give you 20% to makan minum. Actually, it's not enough, but we still will approve. It's around 80%. Okay. Next is look at your collateral, which is the property you're financing. Okay. So of course, there are certain properties, maybe like low cost. We do not target those kind of properties. We prefer more mass market properties like double-story terrace or condominiums. Even certain properties right now during pandemic is a little, I would say, over the supply, such as service apartments. So under service apartments, Standard Chartered Bank, we might give a slightly lower margin, not 90%, maybe 80%. Okay. So of course, also we look into your customer's character, or how do they repay their loans. We look at the Bank Negara Secrets. From there, we can see the past 1 year, do they pay their loans on time, including credit cards, personal loans, car loans, or other housing loans. So if they have defaulted more than 2 months in a row, you will need to explain why. It has to be a good explanation. Of course, you cannot say I forgot or I don't have money. So if with proper documentation and explanation, we can still proceed with the loan. Maybe they might not reject it, but it's possible that we might give a lower financing. instead of 90%. Okay. Right. So lastly is on the profile, reasonable customer profile. So the age of the applicants have to be more than 21 years old, and the oldest applicant is 65 years old. Okay. We also look at employment profile and to see whether it makes sense for this kind of customer to borrow this amount of money. Okay. If for example, if a 22-year-old today comes to me looking to buy a 10 million property, something is wrong there, right? So we look at their employment, say, what is he working as? Is he a CEO son? So it has to make sense. He cannot be an administrative worker earning 20,000 a month. So we look at common sense logic for the profile. Okay. Right. So on next, of course, documentation. What should you prepare your customers to apply for loan? Standard lah. I think everyone knows that you need payslips, bank statements to apply for loan. If you have additional income like rental income or you have FD, you can show us the statements to increase your income calculation. But with Standard Chartered Bank, one thing that other banks do not have, for salaried applicants, if you see my point number 1 here, we have a machine. Okay, we call it the EPF handheld machine. Okay, we will actually bring this machine directly to your customer's home or their office. We can meet with them face to face, of course with masks nowadays, and we will get their EPF printout with our machine. So we just need their thumbprint and their IC. With these two things, our machine will print out the EPF printout. With this piece of paper alone, we can submit the loan. Okay, so just with this alone, I do not need their payslips anymore. I do not need bank statements, whatever also do need. From the EPF, we can submit the loan because we back calculate. We from the EPF amount, we know how much they're earning already. So we don't need other documents. So this is only for salaried applicants because only they have EPF. Self-employed customers, people who own businesses, they will have to provide additional documents like your income tax, personal income tax latest year, your latest 6 months company bank statements, financial reports, and other documentation. Okay. Okay, so far, I'm not sure if I'm going too fast. If you have any questions, please let me know. Or Fiza, if you see anything in the chat room, let me know because I can't see the chat right now. Okay, so the next thing is on our packages. So on top of normal refinancing or sub-sales, we can also, on top of that, we offer zero cost package also, which means we will pay we will pay the legal fees and valuation fee for the customer. Okay, this is different from some other banks where they finance it into the loan. So they'll say, oh, we give you 90% plus 5% legal fee financing and valuation fee financing. So we are different. We are giving you 90%, and the legal fee and valuation fee is not in your loan, it's paid by the bank. The bank comes up with their money and pay for you the legal fee and valuation fee. The interest rate, of course, is higher than normal because we are paying for it. We will charge you a slightly higher interest rate. Okay, 3.25 is our zero cost package interest rate. Minimum loan amount has to be 300,000. It's applicable to both sub-sales and refinance. So this is one of the latest package that we have. Okay. On top of that, right, like we said, we want you to get as many approvals as possible. We try to help you to get a lot of approvals. So one policy that assists you to do this is we call our high value segment policy. So this one is very interesting because for customers who have a lot of cash, okay, some business owners, you know they have money, you know they can pay the loan, but they do not have income documents. Their income tax, they did not declare properly or they declare lower. Maybe their bank statements, they don't have proper documentation. Okay, so for those kind of people, we can do under this high value segment policy. They have to show us that they have savings even in other banks, not necessarily Standard Chartered Bank. If it is more than 1 million, total savings from the customer from bank A plus bank B add up altogether more than 1 million, we will take them in. Okay, they can show us their savings account, their fixed deposit accounts, their investment funds, maybe some unit trusts or shares, all add up together more than 1 million. We will offer them a financing as well. Okay, and on top of that, with high value segment, we also offer better interest rates. Preferential interest rate is applicable to anyone who deposits 250,000 and upgrades to priority banking with us. So low interest rate is how much? Right now in the market, I would say average is about 3% to 2.9. Some banks can go maybe slightly better, 2.85. Okay, with our preferential interest rate, with upgrading to priority banking, we are even lower than 2.85. Okay, so this is very, very interesting. Right. So on top of that, right, of course, we're working together. If you refer cases to us, we also want you to win. Okay. Okay. We win, you also win. So we also have incentives for you guys. Every time you refer cases to us, we register you as a referral, and we will give a referral fee up to 0.2%. Yes. Anyone questions? Right. So right now is a promotional time. That's why I written here up to 0.2%. Our normal referral fee is 0.1%, but right now we are up to 0.2. So this is double the amount of referral we're usually giving to our agents. Okay. Only for completed property, of course. Right. Okay. So if there are no further questions, what I would like to discuss right now is about moratorium. So as you know, right now, moratorium is being offered by the government starting from July. I think some may have already applied. So for those who are still thinking, right now is what is something that's good for you to hear, okay, to understand what does this mean. So moratorium is actually a temporary deferment or suspension of repayment, which means the bank will allow you to not pay your monthly installment, and there'll be no penalties. Okay, we won't chase you for money, we won't charge you extra late payment penalties lah. So no penalty, no bad record in your secrets. Just request from us to give you this moratorium. It's eligible to everyone. You don't need to provide any documentation, and we don't even see your profile or whatever. Just request only, it's automatic approval. Okay, so loans that are eligible for this is existing loans that are approved before 30th of June. So after 30th of June is not applicable anymore. Only before this date, we can offer you this moratorium. Of course, the interest is not free. Okay, up to 6 months, you don't need to pay the installments, but during the 6 months, we are still charging you interest. Okay, so that is something that you have to keep in mind. But there is no compounded interest. It's only fixed interest for the past 6 months. Okay, so the options that you have will be a bit different from bank to bank, but majority of them will have these three options. Okay, so option number one, moratorium or full deferment up to 6 months, which means you don't pay anything at all for 6 months. Option number two is interest payment only or partial deferment. So you are still required to pay, but only on the interest. So you can reduce your monthly commitment. Maybe last time your loan, you need to pay 2,000 per month. If you choose option number two, you only need to pay roughly 1,000 per month. Okay, that's an example. Number three is restructuring or R&R. So this is a debt consolidation that is also under our National Recovery Plan. You can restructure your credit card debts or personal loans, and we will give you a new loan that consolidates all these loans into one. So we will help you extend the tenure. Instead of paying a high installment amount per month, we will restructure it so it's more easier for you to pay and also lower interest. Because as we know, credit cards have the highest interest in the market, up to 15 to 18% per annum. So we will give you a new loan to consolidate this and reduce your interest and installments. So what else is on people's mind is whether they should take or not, or what situation is it good for you to take. Okay, so the pros and cons I will be showing here. Of course, you can see there's slightly more benefits than the disadvantages, right? Pro is, of course, you will avoid default payments. Under this moratorium, if when you don't pay, there's no default payments or late charges. Okay, and it will also provide you with emergency cash, I would say. So every month you're supposed to pay the housing loan installment or whatever installment. You can use it as your emergency cash for maybe more important things like for food or for medical expenses. Okay. The good thing also is even if we are charging you interest during the 6 months of moratorium, the interest rate is very low because you're talking about housing loans, right? So housing loans are the lowest interest rates in the market compared to credit card or personal loan. So this housing loan interest rate is only 3%. So some people just take it just in case because the interest rate is very low anyway. And it will also not affect your security record, the Bank Negara record, which I mentioned earlier. Okay. So mostly people who do this, who take moratorium, are people who are unsure of the next 6 months. Okay. Now, right now we're under MCO for, I would say, almost 2 years, right? So there are a lot of people, commission earners especially, just like us, just like you guys. Maybe their income is not so stable. So if you want to have a more stability, just take up the moratorium. Okay, you never know whether you can afford to pay the installments or not 6 months down the road, right? But for some people who have a lot of savings, they are very safe, they're very secure with their future 6 months, they can still take up moratorium. Okay, we do not ask them whether they actually need or not, but you can just request, it will still be given to them. No questions asked. And what people like that they can do is they can even invest that money. So instead of you paying your loan, okay, instead of paying 2,000 to the bank, this 2,000 you keep. Some people use this for investment as well. Okay, maybe investment that give them higher return than the 3% the bank is charging them. So those people have to be very smart. They have to know what they're investing on, of course. So don't simply use this for fun. Please make sure you know what you're investing in. So the disadvantages is, in the end of the day, you will be, since you're being charged 6 months, you're not paying the loan, but we still charge you interest, you will end up paying higher interest, higher total interest after at the end of your loan. Okay, and depends on after your moratorium, what do you do with the loan? You might end up paying the loan longer. If your loan was approved for 30 years, right, original, after moratorium, you might end up paying for 31 years. It extends. It depends on your loan duration. So later I'll show you some examples. And okay, so this one is something that is not mentioned in many places is the effect on new loan applications over here. If you take a moratorium now, and you are still applying a loan for something, then the banks that you're applying the loan from, if they find out you took a moratorium, they'll be questioning you. How come you're taking a moratorium, which means you have you have something wrong with your income, you have insufficient income, but how come are you still taking a new loan? You're not, something is wrong there, right? You're saying that you have good income, you want to take a new loan, but at the same time you're taking a moratorium and you're telling the banks you're not earning income. So it will affect your new loan application. So like for our bank, Standard Chartered Bank, when you want to apply new loan, you have to cancel your existing moratorium with Standard Chartered Bank. So some other banks, maybe they will ask you, when was the last time you took the moratorium? They will ask you to fill up a form, say, are you taking a moratorium right now or not? Or have you taken one in the past? And it will affect your approval as well. So this is something that you have to keep in mind before you take up the moratorium. Okay, so I will move on to certain scenarios, certain calculations. Right, so, okay, this is a bit, it might be confusing, but let's go one by one. So this is an example of someone who, before the moratorium, is this blue here, which before the moratorium, my loan was about 500,000, interest rate is 3%. My loan was approved at 420 months. This is 35 years, okay? 35 years. And the monthly installment fixed by the bank is 1924, 1924. So we already done calculations and we already know if all these conditions are the same for the next 35 years, interest rate does not change, you will be paying total interest 308,000, 308,000. Sorry, 308,000 of interest charged. Okay, so if you take a moratorium, how does this change? So let's look at the next one. Okay, same repayment. Same repayment means after moratorium of 6 months, I will maintain the same 1924. you can see that my monthly repayment is still the same. So if you're having the same repayment, unfortunately, because your outstanding is now higher, okay, why is it 7,500 higher? This is the interest that has been accrued during the 6 months. During the 6 months, you're not paying installment, the bank still charges you interest. So when you take 500,000 times 3% is 15,000 1 year or 7,500 for 6 months. That's why you see 7,500 here. Okay. Under this scenario, if you maintain the same installment as before, you will pay more interest after your loan finishes after 431 months, or it's about 31 years, 36 years. So it's extra 1 year duration as well. So you end up paying a total interest higher by 13,000, almost 14,000, as you can see. So this is actually one of the worst scenarios. You end up paying 14,000 more because of this action. Some people, after the moratorium, they said, okay, very good. I have 6 months, I did not pay my installments. So I would like to increase my installments. With Standard Chartered Bank, you can do that. Okay, you can slightly increase. I mean, it's not much of a difference from 1924 to 1953. Difference here is about 30 ringgit per month. Okay, if you do this, you can maintain the same loan duration. So if you have already planned by this year, I'm going to finish this housing loan, if you increase this installment by just a little bit more, you can still keep that duration. That plan is still correct. I'm going to finish at exactly 35 years. And the interest that you end up paying more because of this moratorium is only 4,600. Okay, so it's much lower than your 14,000 earlier. Just make sure you choose to increase your repayment. Don't go back to your original repayment already. Increase your repayment. It will help you save a lot more interest, right? And of course, besides taking moratorium, we also have interest payment only options over here. So interest payment only, which means instead of paying during the 6 months, right, you do not need to pay 1,900, but you only pay the interest. So interest here is around, I believe it's about 1,001 per month. Okay, so you're reducing a monthly amount that you need to pay. You just pay interest only. After that, you continue back your original installment. So by taking this option, you will end up paying 7,500 more total interest after the same duration of 35 years. Okay, so these are certain scenarios that most commonly will happen to people who take moratorium. And with Standard Chartered Bank, because we are fully flexi package, right, you can actually choose to pay more. So this is very good for you because when you pay more, you're paying lesser interest. You save a lot. And this is just 30 ringgit difference. So you can even pay more by 100 ringgit or 150 ringgit. You might be even lower than your original loan interest over here. Okay. So with that, that's all I have prepared for today. If you have any questions, feel free to speak up now.
Joel, I want to ask, just now you mentioned about the high use policy. So if let's say, today I'm a self-employed and based on current pandemic, these 2 months, my transaction is not much. So I no need to provide any or income tax. I'm just show you my saving as long as I got minimum 1 million, right?
Yes, that's right. As long your company is not dormant or wind up, it's still running. You don't need to show us your company bank statements. You don't need to show us your income tax. Just show us your savings. Under our high value segment policy, you are still able to get a loan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, any other questions?
So just now, you mentioned about the moratorium. Means after 6 months, I can choose to extend my loan tenure, or I want to pay higher installment. Even though if let's say maybe currently I already 65 years old, so I still can extend more than 70 years old.
Yes, the loan will be running longer than your original approved time because now the outstanding is higher. So it will take longer for you to finish your loan if you maintain the same repayment as before moratorium. So you can choose that. I mean, the bank will restructure for you that way, or you can tell the bank, no, I want to pay higher and I will pay lower interest and finish my loan faster.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay, I see some questions in the chat room. Okay, from Jeannie here. If take moratorium, still can apply loan. Like I mentioned earlier, during your process, right, if you take moratorium, some banks do not will ask you and will not approve your loan, right? They will ask you, how come you're applying for a new loan when you cannot pay for your current loan and you're taking a moratorium? So it's not a good idea to take moratorium if you're planning to apply for a new loan soon. Okay. Doesn't mean they definitely reject you, but it is something you have to take into account. How long loan approval time? Loan approval time is about 1 to 2 weeks, standard cases.
Hi, Joel. Can I ask something?
Sure.
If
I
take
don't-
moratorium will affect secrets or not?
No, taking moratorium does not affect your secrets at all.
So nothing will affect my secrets if I take moratorium, right?
Yep. No bad record, no default payments will be shown on secrets.
Okay, thank you, Joel.
So, can I ask if let's say, okay, currently I take moratorium. So maybe, okay, next month I plan to buy a property. So I go and cancel my moratorium. Is it this affect my new loan application?
It will depend from bank to bank. For Standard Chartered Bank, yes, you can do that. If you know you want to take a loan today, cancel off your moratorium with other banks and with our bank, we can proceed with your loan application. However, I've also heard from some other banks, there's a duration. If they know you have taken a moratorium previously, probably in the next 2 or 3 months, they won't allow you to take a new loan. So this is subject to each bank's policy.
Hi, Joel.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Sorry, I cannot see who's talking.
I'm Delvin.
Who's this? Devin. Hi, how are you?
Hey, just
you're
want to
well.
ask, yeah,
Mm,
for the Flexi account,
Yep.
there is any limitation that I can actually prepay the amount?
Okay, very good question. By default, we will have a 70% capping. So what does this mean is if you take a loan of 1 million, we will allow you to put in the account maximum of 700,000, 70%. Okay. But if you're a person who can put that much money in, what I would suggest is you upgrade to priority banking. Because when you upgrade to priority banking, we can remove this clause for you. So you have 100%, you can put 1 million in the account and pay 0 interest every single day or every month.
Do they have charges like CIMB that they will charge you a minimum of 30 to 40 ringgit per month if you fully pay?
No, we don't have utilization fee.
Yeah, okay. How about the high net worth fund? If I show you 1 million, so is there
Right.
any capping on the margin against the property value?
Okay, under the high value segment, the maximum margin is 70%, regardless is your first property, second or third.
How is the approval like? I mean, is it lenient or is it very difficult to approve for using this?
It is actually quite subjective, I would say. It depends, because for under this policy, you still need to have an employment. You need to declare that you're working somewhere or you're self-employed in a business, right? So you can show us 1 million. We will usually take that as good, but we also see your business. If your business is, we know it's negative flowing right now under, like, for example, under hotel industry, lah. Okay, if you
Okay.
say you're under the industry, but you still show us 1 million, we will still not approve the loan so easily.
So different, depends on the sector also lah.
Yeah, subject to the approval as well.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Delvin. Okay, anyone else has any other questions? For MCO period, any sector of business not acceptable? Yeah, I mean, most banks do not accept clients from like airlines, even like in under hotel industry. I think this is quite well known already lah.
Joel, I think you can actually tell everyone that what is your preferential from your bank. Like example, at FinBank, they do like high salary worker. So maybe you can let everyone know that what is your bank preferential kind of type of client, so they actually know who is the right clients to pass to you.
Right. Of course, we like very quality clients lah. Most banks do, right? I will tell you, we do have a minimum income range also, like 4,000. Anything below that is quite hard to get approved with our bank. We definitely like customers who are very in high positions, earning a lot more than 16,000 is considered our priority alike customers. We also are we like to target priority customers as well. Right now, we have a lot of different incentives for customers who can upgrade as priority banking with our bank. If you know someone who can shift their money, 250,000 from another bank to our bank, it's number one, easier for them to, they'll be in a priority lane to get approval. So it's a bit faster. The credits will pick up their case first, and it's harder for them to simply reject this kind of customers. We will also give priority rates for people who upgrade as priority banking, lower than the normal market, which is, I think lowest right now is 2.85. We can offer below that as well. And also under priority banking, there are other priority benefits, like our credit card, our priority cards, our priority accounts. So these are what Standard Chartered is looking for is very high net worth customers. Okay, any other questions? What is the loan tenure maximum age? Loan tenure maximum is 35 years or 70 years old. Another thing special to Standard Chartered Bank is our maximum age, right? So most banks, in fact, I think all banks is about 70%. For our bank, we can go up to 80 years old. So what I mean is if your customer is 60 years old today, we can stretch maximum up to 20 years, which is until his age of 80. So this is something very special, but there's a condition for this. That customer has to show us 1 million net worth. Okay, so these are elderly people with a lot of savings. We are also looking for this kind of customers. Please refer to us. We can offer them a better loan tenure, 10 years more than any other bank out there. Okay, can I put extra money in my flexi loan during construction period? Yes, because our loans are flexible. One good thing is even if your building is still under construction, you can still save interest during that time, right? If we disperse only 500,000, you can still put 500,000 in the account to save all the interest. Okay, lock-in period, very good. I forgot to mention this. Something special about Standard Chartered Bank is we do not have lock-in penalty. No lock-in period. Okay, any other bank out there for their conventional loans, they will have at least 3 years lock-in. So which means within 3 years, other banks, they will have a penalty for you if you try to fully settle your loan. Standard Chartered Bank has 0 lock-in penalty. Next year you want to fully settle, no problem. We will allow you to do that, no extra charges. You have a client 22 years old would like to purchase 300,000. Yes, no problem if his income is eligible. Minimum loan amount is for zero cost is 300,000. For non-zero cost or normal type of loan is about 70,000. But we hope to get loans higher than 70,000. Okay, let me see. What other? No salary cut can also request for moratorium. Yes, there's no condition for moratorium. SCB is the only bank giving zero moving costs. We are one of the few banks giving. As I know, there's only probably another one or two other banks giving, but definitely it's quite rare in the market, and we are one of the banks. How is commission earner? Okay, so for commission earner, when we talk about calculation, right, on how we derive income from customers. So some people are earning commission, some people are fixed basic income. For commission earners, we have an advantage. We will take the full 100% of the past 6 months. Because it's commission earners, some banks only take 70%, some banks even 50% of the actual commission as income. We will take 100%. So it is easier for commission earners to apply loan with us because we are looking at their full income, not just 70 or 50%. Commission earner without income tax also possible because we only need their payslips and bank statement. We do not request for their income tax. Tamil Sylvie asked, base rate, how does it work? Does SCB varies the base rate as no changes in Bank Negara? Okay, about base rate, right? Okay, all banks have variable base rate. Each bank has their own base rate. Some are lower, some are higher. We are the second lowest in Malaysia right now. Lowest is Maybank, everyone knows that. Highest is, I think, CIMB or RHB. So we do not simply vary our base rate. Okay, we have to follow Bank Negara rules. If they increase, unfortunately, we also have to follow increase. When they reduce, we also follow Bank Negara. So it is very, very fair. Can my 3 siblings join my loan application? Maximum people in the applications, we will advise about 3 people maximum. Hi, can my income, Jaden wrote, can my income support with rental income? Yes, you can. Like I mentioned, you can provide your tenancy agreements. If it is stamped, then just the tenancy agreement, we will add in the rental as part of your income, full amount, no haircut there. If you do not stamp the rental tenancy agreement or it is already expired, you need to show us 6 months. Show us 6 months, the money is coming in consistently, then we will still take it. Yeah, so just show your bank statements and the rental tenancy. Can help us check value. Of course, check value is pretty easy. Just send me the full address, the full size, full details, any renovation done. So we will check the value for you, current market value. Can hard.
Joel, I just want to ask, do you guys still provide 70% margin to Honky for sub-sales?
Honky for sub-sales. Okay, for foreigners right now, because of the MCO, we will need to show proof that they're actually in Malaysia right now. Okay, if they are not in Malaysia, if we can't take a selfie or something or some documentation proof, we cannot actually do foreigner loans. For foreigner working in Malaysia, staying in Malaysia, we give up to 80%. Does that answer your question, Delvin? Okay. Master title can do. Master title we can do, but only if the property is completed within 5 years. If after 5 years, property is still under master title, we will need documentation to show why is it still under master title. Usually we will talk to the developer, ask them, show us proof you have submitted, the land office haven't complete completed their part yet. So we still can do actually with proper documentation. Okay, since we're still in the middle, right? There is also one package that I didn't have time to provide the slides. Okay, it's actually our debt consolidation program. So we can actually refinance a house, but at the same time, from the cash out from this refinance, we will pay off their existing credit card debts, personal loans. Sometimes people even choose to use this refinance to pay off their car loans. So what is the purpose of this? Because when we do this refinance, we are calculating as if these debts will be paid by us. So we do not calculate these debts anymore in your DSR calculation. This will help customers to get a higher margin financing. It will also help them reduce their current commitment. So I have customers who take this debt consolidation with us, reduce their current outstanding and current installment amounts, and then they take a new loan to purchase the house that they want. So this is some other way that we can help your customers get a loan if, let's say, their DSR is not sufficient for any other bank.
Joel, say I want to get the cash up to cover my current housing loan. So means I got 2 housing loan, then I refinance one of the housing loan to settle the other housing loan.
Can. The cash out is free cash to you. What you do with it, up to you. You can pay off your other housing loan. So then
just now you
yes?
debt consolidate. So can I consolidate the housing loan?
No. You can consolidate any other loan except for housing loans.
Okay, so for this package also bank pay the legal fees and valuation fees.
Yes, for this package you can choose the zero cost option, or you can even choose the non-zero cost option. Both options are open for you.
Okay, so for the zero cost package, right? Do you have the login period?
Yes. Okay, so for zero cost, there is slight conditions. So for all zero cost, we will have a lock-in period of 5 years. Penalty is 2%. Okay, so this is put there so you do not simply settle the loan within 5 years, the bank earn no interest, so we end up losing money. So for zero cost, since we're paying for legal fees, which is maybe up to 10,000, 20,000 of legal fees bank pay for you, we will have a 5 years lock-in period to cover our loss. Okay, Delvin, see you guys. Tamil service asks, I understand some banks cannot do loan property without CF. How about SCB? Yes, we also need CF, just like other banks. Or else we cannot finance. Old bungalow. Built long time ago. This one we can bring in the case and we will try to check with the land office. Any other questions?
Oh, okay, Mr. John, maybe you can share with them your contact number if they want to contact and know more about the Standard Chartered Bank.
Yes. Oh, I thought I was sharing. Hold on. Oops. Okay, this is my contact number, email address. So please give me a call if you got any questions, any specific scenarios you're currently having or issues you have with your customer, you can ask me how I can assist you get for some advice lah to try to get a loan approved. Okay. So you can just take a picture of this and you can text me later on.
Okay, so I think that's it, Mr. Joel, for our sharing tonight. So yeah, cukup masa ya, sejam. Okay, so thank you
sudah sejam
guys.
ah?
Yeah.
Alright, thank you very much.
Cakap sudah habis masa. Okay,
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
thank you to Mr. Joel and other to attend to our sharing tonight, and thank you so much to Mr. Joel because you can reserve your time to be with us tonight, even though it's so last minute, and I'm very sorry
No
because of the
problem.
last minute
No
arrangement.
problem.
Okay, all right, good. So
Thank you, Fiza.
okay, thank you to Mr. Joel. So everyone who got any question about the Standard Chartered Bank, who maybe you didn't think what or this kind of questions, you can just ask Mr. Joel after this because he has just provided to you guys the contact number and just can contact him directly. So no problem. And badminton time. Okay, so that's all from us for our Wednesday weekly sharing. And we will continue our sharing maybe in next week on Monday, power training with the interesting title and interesting speaker. Okay, guys, so that's it from me. And thank you. Good night. Have a nice day. Have a good tight sleep. And terima kasih. So stay safe, stay healthy,
Stay
everyone.
safe.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.